Cypress Development Corp. is developing a world-class lithium resource in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. The size of the resource makes the Clayton Valley project a premier asset with the potential to impact the future of lithium supply. Cypress Development Corp. trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the OTCQB, symbol CYDVF, and on Frankfurt, symbol C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Mish Shedlock, editor of Mish's Global Economic Trend Analysis on maven.net/Mish Talk. Welcome back to the show, Mish.
Pleasure to be on.
Brexit, a pretty interesting show. Who's going to be the new British Prime Minister? Do they have any better chance than Theresa May did of getting a successful negotiated Brexit?
Well, anyone in their right mind doesn't want a successful negotiated Brexit. They really just want to leave. The trick right now is to pretend you want to negotiate this so you can get everyone to vote for you. But then the question is, are you believable then when you say you really don't want Brexit, but say there's a chance of negotiation? And of course, that runs the opposite way. Gove and Jeremy Hunt, a couple of people vying for leadership against Johnson, and it's going to come down to Johnson and one of those two, most likely Hunt. You know, they keep pretending that well, you know, we will honor a no deal if that's the only way we can go, but they're liars. They are essentially clones of Theresa May, who would just ask for extension after extension after extension, or agree to a customs union, which is really not leaving at all.
Should Britain hold another referendum, or was the first one enough?
First one was enough. I don't believe they should hold another one. If you're going to hold another referendum on that, why not hold another referendum for Scotland? And curiously, if Scotland decided to go, much of the vote to remain came from Scotland. So the whole thing could change, especially if the Scotland referendum came first. Now, I think it's in the UK's best interest to leave. Get the hell out of the EU. It's unwieldy. 27 nations. They all have to agree to get anything done. Negotiating trade deals with the EU is next to impossible. Because of that, the UK would be much better off on its own accord.
Well, when Canada was negotiating its free trade deal with Europe, it was held up by a small group of farmers in Belgium.
Yes, exactly. The same kind of thing is going to happen over and over and over again. We've got a couple of new tiny countries trying to get that want to be in the EU. Meanwhile, you have major countries like Italy, doing everything they can behind the scenes to try and get Italy out of the Eurozone. Very, very big risk here. They're talking of a parallel currency in Italy. If enacted, that could easily blow up the entire monetary union.
Well, for countries like Italy and Greece that rely on tourism, wouldn't it be to their advantage to have a lower currency to attract more visitors?
Well, I mean, that's one of the arguments, Jim. The thing is, you don't default your way to success, and that's what we're talking about here. Italy and Greece have serious problems with productivity, with rules. It's very hard to open up a new business in either of those countries. The rules and regulations are stifling. They're stifling in France as well, and that is actually one of the problems with the Eurozone itself, is you have one currency for all these different countries that were previously used to just having, especially Greece, having periodic, especially Italy, having periodic defaults to, to write the balance sheets, so to speak. So in Greece, they're very staunchly, for some reason, pro-Europe, but Italy is a different matter, and the threat there is way different. Italy has a primary account surplus. That means they collect enough money in taxes to pay interest on the debt in euros. So Italy is in a situation far different than what Greece was in. The threat from Italy is far more credible, and the approach is way more credible. They're talking of creating a new currency called the mini bot, B-O-T. But it wouldn't be an official currency, but you could still use it to pay the tax bills. So if they made it an official currency, it would be against the EU rules. So they're going to bring this thing in, most likely, but they won't call it legal currency. But by having it in place, they can flip the switch at a time down the road, something Greece could not do. So the setup is far different. They can go out there right now and say, well, this isn't really a currency, but you can pay bills with it. Everyone gets used to paying bills with it. Then all of a sudden they say, guess what? This is our new legal currency as of Monday. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about here. I don't think that Mario Draghi, the ECB, and the EU in general see this risk for what it is. It's very real, Jim.
We'll have more with Mike Shedlock right after the break.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, Recycling Trade Publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mike Shedlock. Mish, what's the discrepancy between jobs and employment?
There are two different surveys that come out, both from the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The household survey, which measures unemployment, is just that. It's a phone survey. The BLS samples a number of households, and they ask them things like, did you work any hours? And if you worked at least 1 hour, you were considered employed. If they will also ask questions like, did you work 2 jobs? And if the total hours you worked was 40, boom, you're considered to be a full-time worker. The job survey, sometimes called the establishment survey, is different. It's a look at actual reporting by businesses of tax receipts. Now, the problem with it is they don't weed out duplicate Social Security numbers in this process. So if someone's working 5 hours a week for McDonald's and then works 10 hours a week for Burger King out of the blue, or vice versa, takes a second part-time job, there's a risk that person is being double counted. They try and take care of this in the household survey, but essentially they're measuring two different things. One is measuring jobs and one is employment. But I find it a little hard to believe that over the course of the past year, the number of jobs has gone up by about 1 million more, 88,000 a month actually, than the number of jobs have gone up by 88,000 or more than employment. So are we really creating 88,000 part-time jobs, a month? And we've been doing that for, over the course of the last year? I don't think so. So these surveys are at odds, and mainly they run in sync, but at times they get out of sync, and so we'll see. I think we are overstating the number of jobs because we're double counting a lot of things. I challenged ADP. I sent them a letter saying, why don't you guys just count duplicate Social Security numbers? They won't, and the federal government, the BLS actually says they can't because they don't have access to Social Security numbers. Jim, that's crazy. This is a sort merge problem. No one even needs to look at the numbers. All they got to do is run a total and count the duplicates. No one even needs to see Social Security numbers at all. But the BLS says they would like to have access to the data, but they don't. Well, so here we are. Everyone is guessing every month how accurate these surveys are.
If so many jobs are being created, how come L.A. County has nearly 60,000 homeless?
That's a good question. There's a lot of good questions. And if labor shortage, if labor is in such a state of shortage, which is also the claims, then why aren't salary gains bigger than what they are? They've been like about 3% annually for the last 2 or 3 years straight. So if we have this huge labor shortage, why aren't wages going up? And they're not going up, and that is despite a lot of states passing escalating minimum wages. So a whole number of states have minimum wages that rise every year all the way to 2022. So despite that, we're still not seeing these huge salary gains. So it's another reason to believe these numbers aren't as strong as what they look or as how they're reported on the surface.
We'll have more with Mike Shedlock right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp. is a Canadian-based mineral exploration project generator. The company currently holds multiple property interests in Ontario with joint venture partners and is seeking further joint venture partners for other drill-ready properties in our portfolio. For more information, please visit our website at rmroyalty.com or call me at 604-922-2030.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mike Shedlock. Mish, is there any hope in the U.S.-China trade talks?
I don't know. Trump can call this off at any time. I believe he orchestrated something with Mexico along the same lines. Whether or not he's going to do this with China, I don't know. I believe that he actually believes that he can win this, and of course no one can win a trade war. China's retaliations aren't doing China any good either, but they are hurting the U.S., primarily farmers in the agricultural sector. The farmers are hopping mad, and of course, one way to lose a trade war, even if it theoretically was winnable, is to lose the election first, which Trump has to win. And if the U.S. heads into a recession, my default position is Trump will not get reelected, and my default position is that the U.S. is heading into a recession. But things happen, as we've seen in Italy, the UK, even with Angela Merkel in Germany, that things change. So we'll see. But I think that a recession is coming. But when you look at the Democrat candidates here, they're all stepping over their own feet with ludicrous proposals, spending trillions of dollars to fight global warming. I don't think they can win on that kind of campaign. So we've got Democrats running poor campaigns, threatening impeachment, which is a move right up Trump's alley because it's not going to happen. And on the other hand, we've got a recession coming. It's like, no one seems to be heading towards the center here. We seem to be moving off in radical directions, and I don't think that's good.
The U.S. Fracking sector seems to be in trouble. Their wells are running dry way ahead of when they were predicted. How bad is it?
Well, this is another one of these things. When you have cheap money, cheap interest rates, all kinds of projects get funded that shouldn't get funded. Look at zombie corporations like Tesla. This company really ought not survive. It keeps needing to go back to the bond markets to raise more and more and more money. We've got IPOs at ludicrous valuations here. The whole speculative environment here is staggering here. Yet, despite all this talk that the U.S. economy is doing so great, that jobs are so hard to find, that unemployment rate is the lowest in history, yet we're in a scenario here. Somehow we've gone from the Fed being on automatic pilot and having automatic tapering month by month, and having 2 to 3 rate hikes this year. Now all of a sudden we've gone to from 3 hikes to 3 cuts. It's really incredible. So either the economy isn't as strong as they say it is, or the Fed is nuts, or both. But this is the political debate here, the economic debate, and it's not just the U.S. We have China loosening money, and we have interest rate cuts in Australia and other places. So everyone wants the same advantage. The U.S., Trump accuses China of manipulating its currencies down. What are interest rate cuts other than the same side of the same coin? When you cut interest rates, you cheapen the currency usually falls. If they all do it at the same time, what do you get? You get stagnation at zero, with zombie corporations remaining alive. That is the setup. It's the Japanization of the world. Japan's already there, Europe's heading there next, and arguably the U.S. will follow that.
Well, Japan right now, because of their aging population, they sell more adult diapers than they do for children. Is the U.S. worried about its birth rate being at a 32-year low?
It's at a 32-year low, and yes, there is a worry about that. Comparatively speaking, the U.S. is far better than Japan. The U.S. is far better than Germany and much of Europe. But if you look at at where populations are soaring, some Mideast countries, the Africa, those populations are going up, and these people don't even have enough money to feed themselves, so we've got a lot of births and a lot of deaths. It's a really messy situation. And, of course, the Fed and the ECB's and the Bank of Japan's and the Bank of China's interest rate policies are such that it benefits the already wealthy at the expense of the middle class. We've got a shrinking middle class in the United States, in the UK, and Japan's going to be interesting to watch because it's a nation that's literally dying. I suspect at some point that's going to turn. All it takes is an attitude change. All the people who don't want kids now, inflation kicks in, jobs, something. There will be something to kickstart Japan. It would not surprise me once that trigger hits. I don't know what the trigger is, that they head immediately into a high inflation, perhaps even hyperinflation scenario because of what they're doing here to debase the yen. At some point it's going to matter. It just hasn't yet.
Mike, thank you so much for chatting with us.
A pleasure to be on.
My guest has been Mish Shedlock, editor of Mish's Global Economic Trend Analysis on maven.net/MishTalk. If you have any questions for Mish or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.